Yo, what's going on, people? Happy holidays to everybody. And yes, Egal Talks Football is back again with another video. Today is a special. We are going to be talking about the West Ham game, Arsenal versus West Ham, deep diving into the West Ham game. Anyone who wants to jump on, the link will be in the chat if you guys want to jump in and have your say also. But today we're here with Gunnar Souls. How you doing? People in the chat saying Merry Christmas. You guys have yourself a happy holidays, guys. Unfortunately, I don't celebrate Christmas, but you know what? You guys enjoy yourselves, of course, right? And yeah, Gunnar Souls, how you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Obviously holidays. A lot of people are off work, so it's nice to get the family together without everyone rushing to go home and and stuff. So it's always good.
Yeah, man. You know what? My wife's actually been at work the whole day. She works at the hospital, so it's like
Uh,
I haven't seen her all day. But it is what it is. Some days we're working. Some days we're off. It's just how life is. But also, just wanted to point out, we hit 15,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Honestly, I really do appreciate it. Everyone who's been part of the channel, everyone who's collaborated, everyone who's ever been in a subscriber, you've all contributed to this, and I really do appreciate all the support and all the love that everyone's showing the channel. And of course, it's just you know what? It's another goal. We got to get the next one now. We got 15K. Now let's go get 20K. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But I really do appreciate everyone who supports and watches the channel. Maybe some of you guys should actually become channel members, and you can get more exclusive content there also. But yeah, let's get this show started. Gunnar Souls, how you feeling about the West Ham game?
you know what? I'm kind of happy to see Arsenal back. The game that I properly got to catch was the Juventus one, and I don't really care about results when we're kind of playing friendlies because it's a time for us to kind of test things out, just see what kind of players fit and all of that. And obviously, with the World Cup being the primary football, we didn't even have our first team. So it's just interesting to see kind of what we could be doing, especially with, you know, the injuries. I won't talk about it yet. I'll give my thoughts on it later. But it's kind of nice to see how the fringe plays because they're going to be important, whether they are just impact subs. We still need to get minutes in their legs, get them playing with the first team or at least get them used to the setup again. And obviously, not playing for an entire month because of the World Cup is it's a difficult thing for any team to go through, especially when it's you're playing heavy competitive football, then you have a month off, then you've got to come back. So I thought the friendlies that we played, like against AC Milan and Juventus, and I can't remember who our third one was, they were good choices because all these teams, they are in their own leagues as well. They are playing competitive football. AC Milan's trying to go for the league again. Um, Obviously, Juventus have had a fall from grace, but they're trying to find themselves again with the boards being, redone and everyone resigning there. So it was quite a good test, and I'm excited, man, because I get to see, the main team play again, like Bukayo Saka, who we did see at the World Cup, fortunately. Gabriel Martinelli didn't really play bar that one start that he had. Like Ben White, love to see him back and playing. Saliba, who barely played. Gabriel coming back into the fold, whether it's Zinchenko, Taney, whoever that is. Ramsdale's antics. Like, there's a lot of things to look forward to, and what a day of by the way, Boxing Day fixtures, they seem to set them up to be spectacular fixtures. So it's going to be a brilliant day of football, and then we can end the day with obviously the blockbusters, the new big giants on the block, and we get to finish it off with Arsenal versus West Ham.
There you go. I want to begin somewhere else. Call me crazy, call me kind of weird, but I'm looking at the supercomputer's predictions that I seen last night, and I'm like, there's nowhere else but to start from there. Arsenal, of course, are top of the league at Christmas. And you know what happens when you're top of the league at Christmas, Gunner Souls. You know that I'm gonna put the graphic on the screen right now. We gotta talk about this. So Arsenal are top of the table come Christmas time. The last, what is this, 10 people who've been top of the table come Christmas. You have Liverpool 13-14. Man City won the league. Chelsea won, then you got Leicester won, Chelsea won, and Manchester United won. Manchester City won. In those 5 years, I think the Leicester season we were top of the table come Christmas. Am I wrong?
No,
Gonna,
Leicester were top at Christmas. This is top at Christmas.
were we top at New Year's then? Which one was it?
It might have been New Year's, or it might have been before the Christmas fixture, and then we dropped points, I think. I
Okay.
can't remember which round.
Then 18-19, Liverpool finished second. They were top of the league that table. Then they won the league the next year that they were top. The next year they were top again. Imagine 3 years top of the league come Christmas. You only win one time. Then Man City topped the table last season. They won it. And this season we're top the table. I generally feel this plays against us and plays for us. Mentally, this is great, but historically, this is bad because we might be another statistic, another team that finishes the season outside of the first place. It is what it is. But right now, I'm not too worried about it. I think that Christmas hoodoo come February, people won't be talking about it if we're still top of the league, really and truly.
Nah, do you know what it is? It's such a false narrative because of the World Cup. You'd be 19 games in, so you would have played 5 more games, give or take. So, obviously, when you look at it, not only has the World Cup interrupted things, but we had the Queen's death, which meant some teams have played more than others. I know it's only one game, but it still plays a factor into kind of how the season could go. So, I don't know, man. I think this is kind of one of those seasons where this statistic shouldn't be used against Arsenal. It should just be used at the halfway point, which is typically what Christmas is. So, yeah, man. They're going to use it against us because why not? It's Arsenal. Let's banter them.
Yeah. Every time Arsenal has been top of the league, what happened next? Do you know? Do you know what's happened next? Every time the Arsenal's been top of the league at Christmas, it's actually kind of crazy. So I'm gonna tell you guys, since this is when it 2022-2023 season, we were top of the table come Christmas. We didn't win the league that year. Am I mistaken? We lost that league that year by like a point to
Wait, which
Manchester
one again?
United. The one that we lost to Manchester United by a point.
Well,
Yeah, the
what's it? What year was it? Sorry, I missed the year.
2022-2023 season. Arsenal was top of the table come Christmas after beating Middlesbrough
2022,
2-0.
23. This is
No,
this year.
no, 2002-2003 season,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
just before the Invincibles, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal were 2-0 victors versus Middlesbrough, and that season they won they were 1 point off winning the league. In 2020, let me show you the next one. Let me actually show you guys what I'm showing what I got on the screen right now, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Can you see what I'm looking at? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so
I can see that now. Yeah.
this is the first season, 2002, 2003. The second season is 2007, right? Post Invincibles Emirates era. This was the first time we were top of the table come Christmas. And what happened? Jose Mourinho's Chelsea absolutely blasted it. What are you gonna do? I think they won that year. Am I wrong?
I'll be honest. This is when I was quite young, so I don't remember what we were doing and how it ended. So like this, it might be more you talking.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just go back to the graphics so you guys can see what I was talking. That's not gonna work. Okay. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna get this graphic up. But my point is, Arsenal have been top of the table come Christmas since post Emirates era about 3 times. I think we haven't won the league one. No, 2 times. We haven't won the league once. And when it comes to 2000 and 2003, we were also top of the table. Come Christmas, we didn't win the league. So overall, we've this would be now 3 times where we've been top of the table come Christmas post 2000. Yeah, I think that's accurate. But yeah,
But you know what it is though? This is the first time in the Emirates era that I feel more confident that we could do something. Now it doesn't mean we're definitely going to win the league, but it's a different vibe. I don't know how to describe it because there seems to be such a relentless mentality at the moment in terms of
big up Daniel.
where we want to win. And it feels like even when you listen to the players, when you hear any of them talk, whether it's someone like Saliba who's only just come into the team, whether it's Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, when it comes to Bukayo Saka, when it comes to any of our mainstay players, even our fringe players, when you hear them talk about the club, the atmosphere, when you hear the fans talk about the club as well, it seems to be a different mentality. There seems to be sort of when you unified in winning. Whereas before we had some aspects of the club where like Bellerin's the sort of scapegoat to this argument because he did say like Alexis Sanchez works too hard, but it seems like unified, we want to work harder. We want to be like, the last, everyone seems to be the last player out of that training ground. Even today, Christmas Day, they're at the colony, whether they're training, whether they're together, but they're definitely going over game plans. So this is the sheer dedication these players have to making sure objectives and goals in this project is
25K. My guy, it's 15K. You're adding 10K. Long way to go. Yes, Pink Panther, long way to go. And who's that in that picture? It looks like someone from Breaking Bad or something. I don't know. Anyways,
I have no idea.
let's get straight into it. People in the comments asking a lot of questions. Liverpool did not win the league. City got 100 points. Liverpool got 99 points. Uh, what? Yeah, Liverpool got 99 points. Then 97, 98 points. Still couldn't win the league. It's crazy. This season, Arsenal might get up there, in points wise. We might get easily 86 points, something like that. Brilliant content as always. Big up to you, my guy. Saying City, what Arsenal will do to compete with them. All we have to do is continue to win our games. All we have to do is continue to try doing our thing. Well, Man United won it in 2007, 2008. Thank you for that. 15K. Thank you for the shout out, Wilson. Let's now go over to the next topic that I wanted to discuss, which was the supercomputer's prediction for who's going to win the Premier League, who's going to win the league and get Champions League. So this is the supercomputer's prediction for who's going to win the league. They have Manchester City 75, almost 75% favorites. Arsenal 22.5, and then they got Tottenham, Liverpool, and Newcastle just creeping up a little bit. Just goes to show you how much they rate Man United's, Chelsea's chances, right? But honestly, it's literally just a two-horse race. This whole thing about other teams, it's literally a two-horse race. I don't know why they even add the other teams, but yeah, just goes to show you, even though we're 5 points clear, Man City are still overwhelming favorites to win this Premier League. That is a reality.
But do you know what it is though? They've got recent history behind them of winning the league and getting it over the line, which is why it's overwhelmingly going to be Manchester City's going to win the league. And the thing is, the anomaly or the thing that could edge it to Arsenal's favour is this January window because we know we need players. We know there's reinforcements to be made. And I think top four for me, and I've said it for a while, is secured. I'm not worried about not getting Champions League football next season. It's whether we can hold on and mount the challenge minimum required to be in the title race. So I just think I do get it. I hear like you can't bet against Man City. They've done it.
Yeah.
They've added a freak of nature up front. Then they've got another freak of nature behind him in Alvarez. So it's not a doubt to why. And they've got KDB, who's arguably one of the best midfielders in world football right now. They've got a very solid.
Look at that. The Tottenham thing is kind of weird. They got a 0.4% chance, so they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. Egal gang, assemble. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. The gang's in the building. The gang's in the house. Let's go over to Champions League qualification. This right here, how good of a sight is that? 99% for Man City, 96.6 for Arsenal. I am absolutely loving it. For once, we're pretty much almost guaranteed Champions League.
Bro, I mean, I know this is gonna sound mad. If we don't get top four, everyone at the club needs to go because that's embarrassing. If we don't at this point of the season to be how secure we are, 5 points ahead of second, and I think we're like at least 10 points from fifth place. Like it is you need a
Alex is laughing. Alex is laughing because the percentages are back. Yes, people, the percentages are back. The percentages are back. You guys remember I did it last year, but this time they're more solid. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, like it has to be a complete capitulation to not get top four, and it's embarrassing. Like I'm sorry, like for us to not get it with the way the other teams are playing, I don't know what future holds for Arsenal if we can't make top four now.
Listen,
like I know people are going to talk about second, third.
I don't even know why we're entertaining this conversation.
Yeah.
Not getting top four is not happening. We're getting top four guaranteed. But the thing is, I'm looking at the rest of the table. Bro, forget about Man City, Arsenal. We're locked in. Liverpool got 76% chance of getting third, they're saying.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so that last Champions League spot, you got Tottenham, Newcastle, Manchester United, Chelsea. Chelsea are finishing seventh, the supercomputer says.
That's actually crazy. That's actually kind of mad.
The supercomputer has Chelsea finishing seventh, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that's crazy? I kind of agree with it. I have Chelsea seventh. I have Chelsea seventh. I'm not gonna lie. I have Manchester United sixth. I just have Tottenham and Newcastle turned around. I have Tottenham ahead of Newcastle.
So you don't think Newcastle could like?
I think they could, but they need a little bit of more of a push from this January window. I genuinely right now have my top four at this moment in time is Manchester City, Arsenal, in no particular order. Obviously, Arsenal could go first, Man City, whatever order you want to put it. But then from underneath that is Liverpool, then Tottenham. I don't think Newcastle are just going to edge Tottenham at this point. I think Tottenham, even though they're shaky at times, second half of the season, Tottenham tend to be a good team that gets the ball rolling.
Do you know what the annoying thing is? Both Newcastle and Tottenham have shown they can have good January windows, with Tottenham having obviously Kulusevski and Bentancur coming in, Newcastle doing what they did last season in reinforcing their
I don't
team.
think Tottenham are
Like,
going to spend that much money this window.
no, I don't think so either. But like, if we're looking at recent history in terms of their last January windows, they both have shown they can do it. But I just think, you know what it is? I think Newcastle. This is gonna sound crazy, and it's gonna sound like I'm being biased because I'm a Gooner. But Newcastle seems like a more
Big up.
exciting proposition than
Okay.
Spurs right now.
1 second. Let me just shout out some people in the chat. Oh my God, it's a supercomputer. What the fuck? LOL. Alex is not happy. We got my guy K in the house 6 times. Yo, I just want one. Give me one. But yeah, you know what? Let me ask everyone in the chat. Would you take 3 Premier League titles or 1 Champions League? I would take the 3 Premier League titles.
Ooh, I'd want a champion because we've never won it.
No. If you had a choice between 3 Premier Leagues or 1 Champions League, I'm taking the 3 Premier Leagues, bro. That means we dominated a 38 game campaign for 3 seasons.
Wait. So we're eradicating history for this question, or we
fuck history?
Talking...
You have a choice.
Okay. In that case, yeah. 3 Premier Leagues.
You have a choice right now. You're just looking at your situation at your club right now.
Then I want a Champions League. If we're talking about current situation.
1 second. You're looking at your club. This is your club. You're looking at your club. You're saying to yourself, for example, if you're Tottenham, you're taking those 3 leagues, right? If you're Everton, you're taking those 3 leagues. Majority of clubs are taking those 3 leagues, right? If you're Arsenal, you might consider the 1 Champions League. But I'm saying to you, for club history-wise, yes, that Champions League is very valuable for Arsenal. But 3 Premier Leagues is more satisfactory as a fan than 1 Champions League. That's the reality.
No, but you know what it is though? Like, look at Man City. They dominate Premier Leagues, right? They've been winning it consistently, and yet people are still questioning them. So, like, for me, I just want to win that Champions League, so that hoodoo of winning a European competition is gone.
Look,
so
like Man City will take a Champions League over any other trophy at this moment in time. Liverpool would have taken that Premier League over any other trophy. Arsenal haven't gotten a trophy since over 20 years almost. So if you're going to offer me 3 Premier Leagues, I'm taking that over Champions League.
I hear both, but I think for our 3 situation, Leagues, I want a European
3
trophy.
Premier Leagues, 3 Premier Leagues is almost like dominating again. That means we're back to dominance. Doesn't mean we're not going to do well in the Champions League. Because you could win 1 Champions League and be absolutely terrible in the league. You could technically win a Champions League and get relegated. That's how bad. That's how weird it is.
I mean, Chelsea are showing that right now. But yeah, I mean, like I do hear it, but I think for our current situation, yeah, like because people don't respect Arsenal enough because of the European trophy. So like for me, that's what I want. I know it's. I hear both. I would, I can be greedy and want all 4.
Alex is always on banter when it comes to me and Hamza. Today I would take 3 Today I would take 3 Premier League championships. Yeah, you know what? I would take 3 Premier Leagues also. But yeah, the supercomputer also had Chelsea, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Leicester. I think that's pretty fair. But you know what the crazy thing is? It pretty much had Nottingham Forest, Southampton, and Wolves already pretty much relegated. That's what I was like. I found that kind of interesting. I'm like, you really consider these teams already relegated?
What? Which one? Wolves, Nottingham Forest, and who was the third?
Southampton. It's too early to be saying 50% chance of relegation for some of these teams. Like
now, Wolves are here. They look awful.
Yeah. You know what? Enough about Wolves
But
and
but
all
then
these
it's
guys.
then it's like Lopetegui's coming though, innit? So
But you know
I'm
what?
intrigued.
The supercomputers predictions were very poor for the relegation. I think it's going to be pretty spot on for the top part of the table though. Let's be honest. The
What a
top
side
part,
though, innit? We're top of the league, man. After games have been played as well.
bro, every single game that's played, I'm telling you right now, come February 1st, we're still going to be top of the table. I guarantee you that. I genuinely believe it. There's not going to be enough games for us to drop enough points for Man City to bridge that gap until February. When Jesus is back, we're still going to be top of the table. That's the reality,
That's the
right?
hope as well. That's what we need.
That is a hope. But yeah, people, let me know what you guys want to talk about when it comes to Arsenal. Now we're going to go over to the game. So we got to go straight to Foot Mob. We got to talk about Manchester City. Every single day, we're going to talk about Manchester City, Arsenal title race stuff, right? But for now, we got to talk about West Ham. For now, we got to put a hold on it and talk about West Ham. What do you think is, and while we do that, what do you really think is going to happen in this upcoming game versus West Ham? Because I remember last season when we played West Ham. God of soul, do you remember the conversations that were happening when we played West Ham last season, beginning of the season, when we played them at home? Oh, West Ham, Arsenal, the 11's kind of close. Who's better,
Yeah.
Creswell or Tierney? That was the kind of conversations we were having. People were saying they'd take Rice and Suchek over Partey and Xhaka. People were saying friggin' Jared Bowen over Saka. I was hearing all the maddest takes. I remember even at one point they were saying one of their center backs was gonna get in over us, and now that center back doesn't even start for them anymore.
Mm.
Ramsdale, Fabianski was never a conversation in my opinion, but you had people saying they would rather have Fabianski's experience. I might be pushing it, but at times last season, I remember seeing West Ham, Arsenal combined 11 where West Ham were getting 5 or 6 players in their team.
Yeah. It was mad, man. Last season was stupid because people seem to forget that individual player quality doesn't represent a club finishing eighth. Oh, sorry, fifth. So yeah, man, it was fugazi, man. It was people being idiots.
Hmm. Being idiots. It kind of sounds like the whole 2022 in my opinion.
Mhm.
A lot of idiots. But you know what? Nothing's worse than 2020. That was that year was ridiculous with everything going on. Let's not even say the C word. You get in trouble with that word.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
100.
let's get straight into it, people. West Ham. Is there one player even gets into our Arsenal team from West Ham? Does
Not
any
at the
player
moment.
from West
I mean, think about it. In their last 4 or 5 games, they've only won one game.
does one player on form get into this Arsenal team? People say Declan
No.
Rice. Does Declan Rice get into
Okay, yeah.
Arsenal right now?
No, because Party's been an absolute animal. So no.
Would Skamaka or Antonio get in?
No, because you got Jesus. So no.
Okay. Bowen? No.
Not on form, no.
Suchek?
Again, not on form, no.
So who from West Ham gets into this Arsenal team? People are worried about the midfield. Big up Jamie Phillips,
Oh
football
no, no,
in the
he's saying
house.
K's in
My
midfield.
guy. Yeah, happy holidays to you, my guy. I don't celebrate Christmas, but of course you do. So have yourself a good one. We played well for 14 games. Iga used last year was the benchmark. It's not half the season. LOL. We'll wait. Alex, you keep going. You keep going. You keep getting upset. It's okay. Big up Gunner King in the house, man. Hopefully you're having a good holiday. Enjoy yourself. Let me know your score prediction for the West Ham game because we're now going to get straight into that West Ham game and look at the two teams and say to ourselves, this is how the teams are expected to line up. Gunner Souls. If I can just zoom out of this thing. What the hell's going on? Okay. It won't let me zoom. Stupid.
Oh, I think you've got it now. Yeah, it looks like the team there.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go. There we go. So we're gonna have Tierney as long as Zinchenko's not fit. We're gonna have Tierney in the team. We're gonna have Sufal. Oh, that's even better. So you're gonna have Tierney, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah. On the other end, they do this thing where they start Jared Bowen as a striker. They play Benrahma, Fornals. They're gonna have Lucas Paqueta in behind, and then you're going to have Suchek, Rice, and a back four is going to be Sufal, Dawson, Karen, and Emerson. And then you're going to have Fabianski in goal. So these are the two teams. This is how the team's going to line up. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking at them right now. I don't see too much of a goal threat. I really don't from them, because I get Jared Bowen might be good, and but he's not a striker. He's not going to really worry Bukayo Saka. He's not going to really worry Gabriel and Saliba. But on the other end, I'm looking at Saka versus Emerson and Sufal versus Martinelli, and I'm saying to myself, yo, these guys got a big problem. I get it. Eddie Nketiah might not be the biggest presence in the box, but Martinelli and Saka are the one of the scariest sights for any Premier League attacker in world. Any Premier League fullback. I'm looking at this game and I'm saying to myself, Martinelli might get on the goal sheet, Saka might get on the goal sheet, and Eddie Nketiah might not even be the one that they're the most worried about.
Do you know what it is though? Nketiah just needs to cause chaos. That's the reality of it. Martinelli and Saka, that's what Jesus does. So Jesus isn't necessarily our goal threat, but because of the amount of chaos he causes in terms of his press, in terms of just being there, being a presence, is what gets Martinelli and Saka the goals they've gotten this season. And especially Martinelli, because he's playing more of the false striker role than anyone. And I think it's going to be an interesting one, man. This is do or die for Nketiah. Like, if he doesn't take his opportunity to prove that that was like myself wrong, I don't think Nketiah is as bad as some people have made him out to be. I will say that. I do think Nketiah can do a job, but my issue is it is a do or die for him. He can't be missing big chances like Darwin Núñez. He can't be doing any of that stuff. I don't care whether the comparison's like, oh, he's a 90 million or 80 million pound strike and you're comparing him to a youth prospect. No, for Nketiah, for getting 100k a week, this is his time to rise to the top and go, do you know what? Like he did last season, but we now need to see it again. He needs to get on that score sheet.
Let me just stop you here. There's some funny comments. Someone here said, yeah, where is it? He's saying, yo, what's up, bro? I'm good, Gunner King. Hope you're doing well. Keep hating Alex. 3-1 Arsenal. London is red. He said Salah celebrating Christmas, and yes, the Christmas curse is coming. I already got Kevin De Bruyne in my fantasy team. I'm not going to risk it with Salah. He's screwing over Liverpool already. Smoke settings in the house saying, my guy, Egal, sure about Tierney fitness. Cedric played last. Of course, it was maybe a precautionary reason. I generally do think it's between Tierney or Zinchenko who's going to be fit and available to play in that position on the day. I really do believe we're just being cautious with Tierney. Darwin Núñez catching strays. No, Darwin Núñez is going to be okay, man. Darwin Núñez is going to actually start a.
No. I said he can't be missing chances like Darwin Núñez in it. So, like, that's what he's coming at.
Okay. Yo, Darwin Núñez catching strays. But yo, Smoke Settings, big up to Smoke Settings. He is the sponsor of the day so far, helping out the channel with the super chat. Every super chat helps out the channel a lot, guys. Really do appreciate it. Big up Smoke Settings. And also anyone who is a channel member. It is only £1 to become a channel member. You can do that. Big up Blaze saying big up to everyone. Hope you're well. Oh my God, my guy from France over there in France. I need to come down to France. Blaze, if I ever come down to France, we gotta link up. But yeah, moving on from that. Some injury news. Let's talk about it. These are the injuries. You got Takehiro Tomiyasu, Reece Nelson, Jesus, ESR, and Zinchenko. And on their end, they have some players I don't know about: Maxwell Cornet, Mikel Antonio, Kurt Zuma, and
you know what? They are huge injuries. They are huge injuries.
So who's got it worse?
They have it worse, in my opinion. Because Ogad is their starting centre-back. Mykhailo Antonio is their main striker. Cornet, a massive threat. Zuma, again, another starting centre-back for them. And Scamacca is their main strike. Well, another main striker attacker for them. So I'd say, like, from a perspective of, like, Smith Rowe being injured all season, Zinchenko we've got Tierney for. Tomiyasu's been injured anyway. Reece Nelson's a bench player. So from that perspective, yeah, 100% I would have to go West Ham.
Anyways, sorry about that. I got a little distracted. Honestly, man, I didn't hear anything you said. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I'll say again. I just thought I won't make it silent in it. But yeah, no, they've got two starting centre backs there that are injured. They've got Cornet, who's their main wing or wide player attack, or potentially even a wing back option for them. And then you've got Scamacca, their main striker, and Antonio, who's their other main striker. So I'd say from a perspective of starting players, they've got it worse. But when you're looking at obviously Gabriel Jesus being out, that's the main one because Reece Nelson is a second fiddle player. Takehiro Tomiyasu has been injured most of the season anyway, so he hasn't heavily featured. So we've not missed him, but we have missed him. Zinchenko's a huge one for us with the way Arteta likes to invert his wing backs. But you've got Tierney playing. If Tierney was also injured, then I'd say we have it worse because then that's our two left backs that are injured. So
No, I got you. I got you. Sorry about that. The food was coming out the oven. And then we're just gonna look at head to heads. Head to heads. As you guys know, we tend to beat West Ham. It was just last year. It was I think 2021, 2022 season. It was kind of mental. That ending to the season. No, 2020, 2021 season. That ending, that last
that
game of
was
the season. That
crazy.
was mental. 3-3. That was the game that Odegaard was like announced himself that he's gonna be staying, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing else really that I'm seeing here. People are talking about January transfer targets for Arteta. I'm not gonna lie, we know who the targets are. We keep hearing Mykhailo Mudryk. We keep hearing about all these targets. We keep hearing about all these players that are going to be coming. But realistically, do you really believe we're going to go and break the bank on anybody? Or because I think 2 games until the January window opens, we're gonna analyze the situation and see how much we need. If we need to go heavy in the January transfer window, these next 2 games might be a little bit of eye openers for how much Eddie Nketiah will be respected or depended on. I personally, I believe in Eddie Nketiah. I might get a lot of heat when I'm on the terrace and I say that, or I'm on other channels and I say that, but I generally do believe in Eddie Nketiah in the sense that he can offer us goal threat. If need be, he can be another person who drops deep if he needs be. He can be a poacher in the box when need be. He's a decent all around player. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's going to replace Jesus' statistics. He can't do that. But one thing we can do, he can definitely bring other people into the game. And with Saka and Martinelli developing the way that they are, I still think we're going to be fine without Jesus in the short term. In the long term, if we're going to sign a player or compete for this league, we still need more. That is the reality. Even before Jesus got injured, we needed more. But if we're going to get that more, I don't know. And even if we don't get it, I still like our chances of pushing City as long as we can. But yeah, let's go to the comments, see what the comments are saying since I last read it. Saying League Gunner's burner account. Allow it. Tommy's saying, big up my guys, Merry Christmas. Yeah, man, happy holidays to you too, man. I don't celebrate Christmas, but of course, you guys have yourselves a wonderful one. All I want is for Christmas is Mudryk. Let me ask you guys, uh, if you could get one signing, who would it be? Because I don't think there's one player specifically out there that we can go and get in January that moves the needle so much where we guarantee a league. I don't
But
think there is.
realistic or just any player?
Realistic
Okay.
January transfer target for Arsenal that can move the needle. Who do Arsenal? What Arsenal? Who would do Arsenal sign in January? What is Edu and Mikel Arteta's plan? Because before we go into their press conferences and talk about other stuff, who? No, let me just make it simple. Who do Arsenal sign in January?
Unrealistically, Rafael Leao, but he's a summer signing. Um, if you're looking at somewhat realistic, I'd say I'm not gonna lie. We need a versatile winger. So if Mudryk's the guy, then go for him. But if it's me out of Mudryk or Felix, I'd go Felix.
You know why we tied down Martinelli's contract before we sign these players? Is because we need to hold on to Martinelli. No brainer. But if you bring in a Mudryk or you bring in any of these guys, are you worried that Martinelli might not get as much game time, or is he getting shifted to the striker position? And
Well,
let
I
me
hope he
know,
gets
people in the
shifted.
chat.
I hope he gets shifted. But
Let's
it's a mentality thing. Look, Man City have look at how stacked their squad is. You need a stacked squad. I don't think
oh,
anyone's crying
come
about it.
on. Come on, Gunnerveld. Eddie's never gonna deliver. Have some faith on the guy, man. Give him something. Believe
No,
in
he
the
said
guy.
he will deliver. Why are you going in for him? He's
No,
backing your
no, I
point.
meant Tommy. I meant
Oh,
Tommy.
oh.
I meant Tommy. Gunnerveld, my guy, Gunnerveld, he believes, believe. We got someone else. Tommy's always on his case. Felix not coming to Arsenal, man. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Listen, you guys can keep believing Felix
But
coming.
but
I
he
don't
he
believe he's
is a
coming.
better option than Mudryk in my opinion.
I don't believe he's coming, and I don't know how good he's gonna actually be. Leao is a pipe dream. Let's be
Nah, it ain't
real.
a pipe, bro. You say it's a pipe dream. It's not a pipe dream. You know, he said he enjoys watching Arsenal more than any other team right now.
You know what?
Bro, these
Leao's a good.
players want it. They want to come to us. They're
The
jizzing for
Arsenal
Arsenal,
juice
bro.
might
They're
be
waiting for
back, ladies
Arsenal,
and
bro.
gentlemen. The
It's
Arsenal
the
juice might be back.
you know when you have that like dream girl, that like celebrity crush. Right now for Leao, where that is Mudryk and Leao are twerking for us, bro. I'm telling
And
you,
you
it's not a
know,
pipe dream.
Mitrovic is not the answer. You don't got the answers, AJ. I'll tell you that. You don't got the answers. That's not the answer, AJ. That's not the answer. Modric is coming. Bring me my Ukrainian son. Bro,
Bro,
I
you know,
didn't know you I
I
didn't
do
know
want to
you're half
question, yeah,
Ukrainian.
like people, I don't know about Mudryk, you know, I don't know enough about him.
What?
I don't know what the hype is about.
What do you mean you don't know what the
I
hype is
don't.
about?
How do you go off of a few Champions League appearances and go, yeah, this guy's in there.
No, it's
He
the
might be.
fact.
I'm not
One
denying it,
second.
but
1 second. This is what happens during the transfer window, souls. If you don't know, this is what happens. You literally, this is what happens. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. We're linked to a player. This is the whole process. We're linked to a player. You know what? Gunner Souls, name a player that Arsenal are linked to. Name a player Arsenal are linked to. A random player. Anybody in the world. Name that player.
let link to well, we're linked to a lot, but I go all right. Let's just use a Mudryk as one.
Okay, so Mykhailo Mudryk is linked to Arsenal. First day, nobody knows who he is. People are looking at videos trying to find it out. Eduardo Higgins drops a mixtape of what he looks like and how he performs. Then the next day, we find out what his profile is and how he would suit and play at Arsenal, and people start doing threads on him. Then AI, whatever his name is, the robot guy, he does a whole thread, 16 tweet thread on how this guy would be generational and changes everything. And by the end of the week, everyone knows everything about the guy. We look at his stats match up. We look at the expected threat, the expected everything. And now this guy looks like the best thing since sliced bread. I get it. It's overhyped. But now let me take it to another level. You go on Y Scout, you actually watch the 90-minute performances of his games. That's what some people do. They actually watch 90-minute performances of his game, of Gakpo, of him, of João Felix, and they say to themselves, what would this guy bring to us? What would he bring to us? He'd bring to us some level of dynamism that we don't have on that left hand flank. Martinelli is somebody who cuts inside. This would be someone who more or less stays on that touchline and gives people more of that Leroy Sané type disruption, more of that Kingsley Coleman type disruption on that right hand side, where we already have a Bukayo Saka who's like a Robin who cuts inside. Now, I'm not comparing Bukayo Saka to Robin based on his legacy in football. I'm just saying based on the type of player that he is, Bukayo Saka is someone that likes to cut inside and uses left foot. Am I wrong? So bringing it back, the reason why this guy is so highly touted is because one, we've been linked to him for numerous windows. Two, Arsenal fans have been thinking about him for a while. Three, throughout the season during the Champions League, when he was playing, we kept an eye out for him because we were linked to him in January. And it's not hype out of absolutely nowhere. This hype has been going for well and over 6 months. This has been well and over 6 months of research on a player. That's what makes you think, yo, this is actually for real. For example, if we were talking about somebody who came out of nowhere like Gonzalo Ramos, bro, no one knows anything about Gonzalo Ramos until he scored that hat trick.
Yeah, but no one knew about Mudryk until we were linked to him. Let's be real,
Yeah,
though.
but I just gave you information. It's been well and over 6 months of us talking about him. Now, 6 months in, we know what he could offer us. We know what we might
No.
expect.
I'm not look. I'm not denying that the kid's not got ability, but I'm just saying that the way people are talking about him is as if they watch him every single week. That's what I'm trying to say. Like with Neymar at
People do,
Santos. Yeah?
Gunnar Souls.
No.
People do.
Yeah, but very little. Not the amount of people I'm
But
hearing.
there are people who have Y Scout. There are people who have other means of watching a game when it's not live. Like
I get
Phantom.
that, but I'm talking like watching a player live and actually wanting this guy. Because if he was so good, why did it take him to be linked to Arsenal before everyone started talking about it? That's all I'm saying.
By the way, to the Liverpool fan here, we're not going for Vlahovic. The ship has sailed. Arsenal will not go back and beg for a player who dismissed us when we were going for him in January last year. Absolutely humiliated us in the sense that he didn't even pick up our phone calls at certain times. His agent is an absolute prick. I hope he rots in Juventus. Anyways, Bro, I hope he rots in Juventus. I hope he gets relegated with Juventus, and he doesn't even win the Golden Boot in Serie B. We are. What's so funny? I don't wish him any well. Anyways, I don't hope he gets injured or anything. But based on football, I wish him no success. When it comes to we are linked. We are linked with some every year. Egal. Then teams go out and get someone like Vieira last year. I don't think we're gonna pay 100 million in January. We're not paying 100 million. It's gonna be around 60 million. And also the reason why sometimes we're linked to players like Danilo. The whole time we're linked to Danilo, I was getting gassed. I was watching videos. I was learning about Danilo, so much about Danilo. I'm hearing that we're going to get Danilo. We're going to get Danilo. We're going to get Danilo. Now it looks like he's going to go to either Ajax or Monaco. It's just these things happen. It's very sad, but it's a reality that we live in. But yeah, Vlahovic would be amazing for me. I would take him a number one priority. Exactly what we need. Is he? Do we need another problematic player in the dressing room?
He's not problematic though.
It would be with Xhaka.
Ah man, yeah. What? It's like oh, an Indian works at my workplace. I'm gonna have a beef with him because that's what we're meant to do. Like, come on now, man. These guys are more respectful than that.
Okay. Let's just be devil's advocate here. Arsenal are gonna get one of two things. They're gonna either get Mykhailo Mudryk or Joao Felix. Who's the better fit?
João Felix. That's from me,
What?
but I don't know anything about Mudryk. I don't watch Ukrainian league. I don't have the time for it.
Okay. Let's allow it then. Going back to
No, all right. So you've done research on both. So you know who Felix is, but like you've done the research and what I've done a bit of research on Mudryk, but what's your opinion then? Like,
I think Mudryk. I think Mudryk is the guy that Arsenal's gonna get based on the financial
no,
package.
no. Who do you think fits better? That question.
Okay. When it comes to Joao Felix, he might be able to play as a striker, but we don't know what his adjustment level is going to be. We don't know how he's going to adjust coming into the league. We don't know how he's going to perform coming into
Yeah,
the
but
league.
Mudryk's more of a risk for adjustment.
I think the Ukrainian league's physicality might be actually closer than
No, La Liga players have transitioned a lot better than what we've seen from other leagues.
We'll have to wait and see. I still have a lot of concerns over Joao Felix. In addition to the fact that we'd have to pay a massive financial package. Well, also, would you rather pay £8 million?
No, but that's not the question. We were talking about who's the better fit for Arsenal.
The better fit. Okay. If both of them absolutely perform out of their skin, the better fit would be Joao Felix. But based on the information that I have right now, Joao Felix to come into Arsenal and absolutely hit the ground running and go crazy, or Mykhailo Mudryk to come in and hit the ground running and go crazy, I think a wing player would perform better than someone who comes in right away like a false nine. I don't know if Joao Felix, do I rate him at the same level as a Jesus to come in and just absolutely like a duck to water, get used to our system? And does it make sense to have another player who's just like your first option once again? But honestly, bro, I'll tell you this.
ESRS kind of player.
The more and more I get closer to Mykhailo Mudryk, how people can compare Mudryk with Timo Werner. What? When did people compare him to Timo Werner, Blaze? What are you talking about? I'm so confused. Who compared Mudryk to Timo Werner? I don't see.
I've not heard that.
They're comparing him in the chat. Anyways, my point is, if you could give me an option, both players are going to absolutely perform out of their skin, and both players are going to be good. I think Joao Felix has more versatility. I think Mykhailo Mudryk has better potential to get to a higher level.
I'd agree.
I think Mudryk has the potential to reach the highest ceiling. I think Joao Felix has the versatility that can help us the most to achieve what we want to achieve.
I'm glad. Like the thing is, the only thing that makes me quite happy with the Mudryk signing is definitely not from the fans. That's the one thing that I will say, because no one knew about him until Arsenal started to look into him. And that's what gives me more hope that this signing makes more sense. So on that perspective, I probably will go for Mudryk to come in more.
I personally say whatever Arteta wants, whatever the manager wants, we should be happy with. That's what I believe. Like, I know it's kind of crazy. I know it's kind of cringe to say that sometimes. Just go.
But you know what it is though? He wants to come to us, and I feel like that aspect kind of does persuade me to want him as well, because the guy would die for Arsenal the way he talks. So
Let me just put this proposal to everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat. Joao Felix, 6-month loan, no obligation to buy, or Mykhailo Mudryk, 60 million, including add-ons, 5-year, 6-year deal, basically. Which one would you rather have? Which one would you rather have? Let me know. Everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat right now. Let me know which one would you rather have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want the player that we've signed, that's on our under our books. We don't have to worry about a situation where Joao Felix is with us for a 6 months loan and then Man City comes and scoops him up. Then in the summer, you know what I'm saying?
no, I do. Like, the thing is, like, for me, when people say who makes a better trend, I'd say Felix, but Mudryk excites me just from what I've heard, and he is one of that, like, kind of next super, because Felix should have done better at Atletico Madrid in that transition. He should have been doing a lot more, and especially when he plays for Portugal, he should be showing a lot more of his ability, but he
The
hasn't.
question is Iga, is he worth 60 million? Bro, they were touting us 80 or 90 million for him a couple weeks ago. So 60 million sounds about reasonable. That's
No, no,
with add-ons.
it is higher than like
That's
what we
including
should be
add-ons, by the
playing.
way. That's
No, I
including
get that,
add-ons.
but it is higher than what I think we should be paying. But the market's weird though, and also,
Marcus Thuram?
it's not overpriced. I wouldn't say it's overpriced, but it is a bit more than I'd want to pay.
What about Marcus Thuram? I don't know. Somebody in the chat said Ukrainian Werner. What? It must have been Alex. Alex, you still here? Alex is still here. Dizzy's in the house saying here or here for
Well,
Odegaard
Odegaard
apologies.
apologies. That's my guy. I'm not
Bro,
apologizing for
you're
nothing.
too late for Odegaard apologies, bro. Odegaard's praises have been reaped for about months now.
No, but who needs to apologize? I don't understand. What do you want me to apologize that I've been praising him? I can't do that.
I think that's what he wants. I think he wants
What
apologies for praising
for the
him at this
praise?
point. I don't know. Anyways, just to let everyone know,
Dizzy,
Can,
clarify.
can I
What do you want to do?
1 second? I gotta tell you something. Bukayo Saka has joined a special club. Did you find out? Did you hear about it?
Join the special.
Did you hear about
club.
it? Bukayo Saka, guys, has joined a special club. He's part of the £100 million, €100 million players club now. He's officially a €100 million player. He's worth £100 million.
He's worth way more than that.
He is the third highest valued player in the Premier League.
What's Arsenal worth is what Bukayo Saka's worth right now. So if that's 4 billion, he's worth 4 billion. If you pay 4 billion, you can have him. That's the way I see it. I don't care. You don't pay 100 million is too cheap.
Gunnar Souls is saying Mudryk offers both technical security, technical security. Felix offers that. Okay. So who do you want? You want Mudryk also has versatility.
So Gunnar King's riding for Mudryk. Fair enough.
Gunnar King wants Mudryk. Gunnar King wants Mudryk. Yes, he is. Alex is still in the house. Big up, Alex. He is the specialist of the club. Yo, Alex is on our case today. Alex is on our case. But yo, let's just move on. Before we move on, before we do the score predictions and all that stuff, is there anything else today? Nothing else today, no?
Nah, it's Christmas. I mean, the players were at Colony. If that's that's the only exciting thing.
Yeah, the players were at London Colony. I just want to say this. Give some credit to Man City for a second, because they gave us 2 players that have raised the levels of our squad. They have definitely raised the levels of our squad. And I just want to give Man City a moment of praise, because these 2 guys brought some winning mentality to Arsenal. And Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, they might both have injury issues at this moment in time, but what they've done for us for the first half of the season has been near spectacular. You know what I mean?
Oh, facts, man. This is the thing, in it. This is the phase of the sort of process we're moving into. Is we need the sort of mentality monsters to come in and just help those younger players, like the likes of Saka, Martinelli's, who haven't really won anything. Like, I know they won an FA Cup, or they were in the squad for the FA Cup, but they haven't, like, they weren't the mainstays to why we won those things. So it's important to have Jesus, who's got 3 or 4 Premier Leagues under his belt, Carabao Cups, FA Cups under his belt. Zinchenko, same thing, being very vital. The substitution that won them their Premier League before he made the move to Arsenal. Things like that, you can't, like, you can buy it, but the mentality you can't buy.
Oh man, Jamie, man, come on. Arsenal have a difficult 6 games coming up with no Jesus. To be honest, it's only 5. He's supposed to be back for the first game of February, so he's
I
only
wouldn't, I wouldn't hedge my bets on it, but yeah.
he's only going to miss 5 games. I'm not really counting the Oxford City United game. No one really cares about the FA Cup. We win it every year. To be fair, and then when it comes to Fabrizio Romano tweeting about Martinelli, what is he tweeting about? The same thing that Ben Jacobs said on the channel the other day. The guy just says the same things over and over again. Fabrizio Romano doesn't actually provide anything besides. You know how you used to go to Sky Sports to see if something's actually done? That's what
But
he
what
is
did
now.
he say? I don't even know what he said.
He just said Martinelli's going to sign a contract any moment now.
Oh, all right, okay.
We already know this.
Yeah,
We
he regurgitates the same shit, just puts different words in it.
Yeah, you can come on the channel anytime, bro. But I'm not paying £500 for you to say the same shit that everyone else would say. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, let's be honest. Bukayo, you know what? I did a video on this. But would you put Bukayo Saka on the same breath as a Vinicius Junior right now? Is that
Yeah,
or is that or is that too much praise?
I would. I
That's
would
too.
personally. Nah, look, Vinicius and Saka are doing the same things, in my opinion. Like what? But the difference is right because
One
Vinicius has
second,
come
one
back.
second, one second. I need to make sure that Gunnar Velt knows this. Fabrizio Romano has not actually broken a story for well over 2 years. He stopped being a journalist. He's now a content creator.
Yeah, he's a good Italian media. Like, but when it comes to any other leagues, he's not. He's
No,
not the first.
he's not even a journalist anymore. He's basically just a content creator at this point. He's not
Now,
even
I'd
a
still
journalist
say he is
anymore.
a journalist that's become a. I will
What
still
article,
say
what
journalist.
articles what articles does he write? What actual investigative journalist does he do? He doesn't do anything. At this point, Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein's actually doing legitimate journalistic work, where Fabrizio Romano, at this point of his career, has become a social media icon. That's what he is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's what he is. And people come to him the same way that they go to Sky Sports for verification that something's gonna happen. So he is the verification that something is done. He literally broke a story last week. LOL, Fofana to Chelsea was him. No, it wasn't. Fofana to Chelsea was not him. Fofana to Chelsea was originally broken by somebody else. I think you're mistaken. Cucurella to Chelsea. That was one that I seen him going against the club. That was the last time I seen him do anything mad. That was kind of crazy, Cucurella. But yeah, let's not. What are we doing here? People fighting for Fabrizio Romano. You guys don't fight for me this hard. Uh, yeah, but yeah, these 3 guys are going to be important the second half of the season. Also, massive.
I'm so happy you put the Egyptian king in there because you know the amount of disrespect that guy gets, man.
Yeah, because these 3 have been injured for majority of the first half of the season, or a good portion of it, and they, them coming back. I don't want to say they're like new signings, but should I say it? It's kind of cliche, but I'm gonna say it. They're kind of like new signings.
I mean,
Kind of
Emile
like
Smith
new
Rowe
signings.
last time returned was a new signing for us.
Yeah, they're
Boxing
kind of
Day
like new signings.
rejuvenated the club.
Yeah, he took an interview with Endrick's father. Is that really breaking a story? Interviewing Endrick's father?
But it's journalism, though. That's the point.
Okay, okay. So
Obviously,
was it on his?
there's more.
What
There's more
was
to
it?
it than
Was it?
being
Was it on his YouTube channel?
that. It doesn't matter. There's a,
No, no,
look
no.
at all right. Look at Ariel
Because
Hawani.
if
Okay,
it's
would you say?
because if
Would
it's
you
on his
say no, no, no?
Twitch,
But if you look at
because
Ariel
if it's on his
Hawani,
Twitch, what is difference? What is the difference between I Show Speed and Fabrizio Romano right now?
no, but if you look at Ariel Hawani, who is a respected journalist in the UFC, he's still a journalist, but he has his own content like that he does on YouTube and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't look at Fabrizio Romano as somebody who actually breaks journalistic stories. I look at him as a guy who takes a lot of other people's stories and plays it off as it's his own.
That's what a lot. I mean, there's always going to be one person who breaks it,
He
and they.
doesn't he doesn't he doesn't cite his sources that are actual other credible journalists, and he just takes their stories and regurgitates it as his own.
Fair. I don't know. I don't really care about him that much, so I don't really. I don't.
Yeah, Ben Jacob might do the same thing, but the thing is, the reason why I'm so adamant about this is because I've seen Dean Jones break a story, and then Fabrizio Romano 2 days later tweet about it, and he's the one that's getting all the credit for that story. I've seen Ben Jacobs tweet a story. 2 days later, he's getting credit for it. I've seen that Barcelona guy Romero tweet about all those Chelsea rejects, Chelsea guys that rejected Chelsea to go to Barcelona, and guess who got all the credit? He was getting a bunch of credit at the end, but at the beginning, it was all him. Every
They all
journalist,
do it though.
yeah, every journalist regurgitates stuff. Like, for example, Charles Watts. When was the last time Charles Watts had an actual exclusive?
But that's the problem, though. I don't want to make it into a journalist conversation, but one thing I will say is that that's what it's a small world. Like, I don't think anyone can truly break and make exclusives anymore. There's too many people in the space.
You know what? Adrian Wojnarowski in the NBA is the guy. He's the GOAT. Definition of a GOAT. A guy who you go to and you know he's going to break everything. Fabrizio Romano, this January transfer window, you guys are going to find out. He's going to have a lot of people's stories from other people, and he's just going to regurgitate it. And he's not going to give them any credit, and it's going to seem like he's breaking a story every day, but it's not actually his story. That's the reality. Charles Watts didn't break the Martinelli story. The Martinelli story was broken by Daily Mail. If I'm not mistaken, the Martinelli story was broken by the Daily Mail. I remember we were looking at it the moment it happened, right? No, it was broken by a Spanish media, the Barcelona media. Remember? I tweeted it out. It was Sport Español who broke that story. Sport Español. I remember. I was actually in a Twitter space talking to Hussam and these guys, and they're like, Martinelli needs to sign a contract. Martinelli needs to sign a contract. What happens? 2 seconds later, he signs a contract. But yo, we got so off the West Ham game. That's crazy. We got so off the West Ham game. Just to bring it back quickly. Just to bring it back quickly. Just to bring it back to a West Ham game. And have you seen the next 5 games, what they look like? Yeah. The people saying I compared him to ISO Speed is disrespectful. I was meaning the fame that he has and the level of like content that he does, interactions that he gets in his content. It's not really like similar to a journalist. It's more like similar to a Twitch streamer or a very extremely popular YouTuber. That's what it is. I wasn't making fun of him in that sense. It was more just like actually showing some level of praise. Because I should speed, let's be honest. Who doesn't want to be compared to that guy right now based on the numbers he's pulling? You know what I mean? But yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so the next 5 games, Arsenal play West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle, and Tottenham. What are we saying for score predictions for those games?
West Ham, I'm going 3-0. Brighton away, I'd say 2-1 Arsenal. Newcastle at home, that's a good one. That's juicy. I'm going to go 3-2 Arsenal. Tottenham away, fuck it, I don't even care at this point. 10-0 Arsenal, don't care. Never going to give them any credit. Man United at home. You know what? Their form away from home ain't that great. So I'll say, you know what? 3-1 Arsenal.
Let me know, guys. What's the scoreline going to be for the West Ham game? And give me how many points do you think Arsenal are going to get for these next 5 fixtures? I'm looking at these games and I'm saying, bro, I think we get 12 or 13 points. We get 4 wins and a draw, or just 4 wins straight up. I don't think we lose. I don't think we lose more than 1 game if we do drop points.
We're getting 5-5. I'm telling you, we're getting 5-5.
That's very ambitious. Very ambitious.
Hey, listen, with title challenges,
If we go to Tottenham away and we get all 3 points, we're winning the league. We are winning the league. If we go away from home and we go to White Hart Lane and we come back with all 3 points after beating West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle, and Tottenham, if we win all of those games, the league is ours.
You know what? I'll tell you now with full confidence we're beating Tottenham.
What? Really?
How can we be so confident? That's not even the game I'm afraid of. You know the game I'm afraid of?
I'm not going to lie to you. That's the game I'm afraid of. No. Because let me give you my reasoning. We go to that stadium away from home. It's the toughest game.
minor.
scheduled the whole year.
Bro, we
almost.
got vengeance on our minds. Do you know what happened last season? That was embarrassing. We're not gonna. It's not happening. I'm telling you, these play. And also, when are we playing Tottenham? At the end of January, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Mudryk's gonna announce himself.
bro, I'm worried.
Whoever
That
that winger signer is, or whoever the fucking signing is gonna announce himself against Tottenham.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of worried. Guys, let me know how many fixtures, how many points do you think we get from those games? First of all, West Ham is going to be a 2-0 win. I'm going Brighton away. I think that's going to be a 2-1 victory. I think we concede in that game. Newcastle at home. I'm trying to get tickets to go to that game. I think we're going to win that game 3-0. Unfortunately, I'm going to be coming with a Newcastle fan, so he's going to be very sad when he leaves that stadium, but I'm going to be very happy. When it comes to Tottenham away, I am very scared of that game, ladies and gentlemen. That's the game that I have down as either a loss or a draw. Call me pessimistic, whatever you want. Usually people are calling me deluded, but today I am very worried about that Tottenham game. And then the Manchester United at home. That is the game that I'm looking at and I'm saying, how are we not going to slap those boys? We're going to wipe the floor with them at home. It's just that Tottenham game that I'm worried about. Alex, what are you doing today, bro? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy that you're gonna sign Ukrainian Timo Werner.
Okay, that's the first thing you contribute. What do you think about these games as a neutral or as a Chelsea fan?
You're gonna lose all of them.
You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy.
By the
You're
way,
crazy.
I wanna know. I wanna. What's his name? I want your medical staff to show me what kind of surgery Arsenal has, or like what kind of medical stuff Arsenal has that surgery on the knee for what's his name for Jesus is gonna take in the first week of February. Please tell me what kind of. I
No,
want to
so
know because
okay,
there
so
was some kind of miracle surgery
No,
and
no,
miracle
no, 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 no,
but
no.
recovery.
before 1 second, but before we talk about Jesus' knee injury, can you give us
Mhm.
a realistic how much points you think we're gonna get?
So those are the games that you're gonna miss without, you're gonna play without Jesus.
Yes.
So 3-5 in a minute. What's his? I really don't know. You shouldn't have problem get at least 9 points out of it.
Okay, so you're guaranteeing at least 3 wins. You think Man
Yeah.
United game, that's the tough one?
Yeah. Man,
Yo, Dizzy,
Man
those
United is the one that you're gonna struggle because they play exactly how you opposite of what you play. So yeah,
but
I
we're at
rate Ten
home.
Hag big manager.
But we're at home.
So I'm at home, but that doesn't improve my chances of getting something special. Like
No, but it's different. Our team is actually playing good. Your team is not.
I understand that, but still, I don't think it's. We'll see. We'll see. But no, Arsenal. To be fair, Arsenal playing in the good. We're playing really good right now. So who am I to say no? Like
Okay,
it
what
depends.
about
It
tomorrow?
depends. It
What
depends
about
on.
what about tomorrow? West Ham. We got a game against West Ham tomorrow. What's the score prediction?
I think it could be potential draw. Actually, I could
What?
be a draw. Yeah,
Okay. That
you have a lot of players that went and played in the World Cup. They didn't.
okay.
That's it. That
Majority of our but that's the only reason? You I think
no
that's
plus no you plus you rely on the players like you okay like if you don't rate Jesus is absence how you say it absent. I do. I think you can afford more to lose Saka. You can afford more to lose Martinelli than actual him.
you know
If
what?
you want,
I
no,
might
it's
agree
my,
with
it's no no jabs, nothing. This is what I actually think. You could afford for Arsenal's better chances to win the games. You could afford to lose Martinelli or Saka versus Jesus because the way Jesus is playing, it's how he sets the tempo. By if you don't realize how much his impact, watch him when he was playing or go back and watch how he was playing. Who starts the press?
Jesus.
Exactly. That's it.
You know what? I fully agree with your point. you're actually not making a point that's invalid. I fully agree with you. But at the same time, we have to look at the opponent that we're going to be playing. We are superior to West Ham.
But
Even without Jesus, I can show you the two teams on paper. Let me know what you think. I know
Gal,
it's not,
that's why I like seriously. You never kicked a ball.
bro. I
It's
play
not
football.
about the paper. You and
I
percentage,
I
man.
know. I'm a math guy, but I did play football. I'll tell you this right now. When you play, there's a lot of other variables that get out of the game. Like I get that. But when I'm looking at the actual game and I'm saying to myself, the team without Jesus is not going to be playing different. That's why I'm showing you the team. That's why I'm showing you the team. Because even
Okay,
without Jesus,
okay.
one second, even without Jesus, we're not a one-man team, Alex. This is why
No, no,
when I
but
say
Nketiah does press.
Eddie Nketiah does press. Eddie Nketiah actually is one of the most intensive pressers in our team from last season. And yes, he wasn't the guy who's going to get us to top four last season, but the rest of the team is picking up the slack. Last season, we had one of the worst goal scoring midfields. This season, we have one of the highest goal scoring midfields in world football. When
Okay.
it comes to Xhaka, Odegaard, and Partey chipping in with goals, even Vieira's chipped in with goals, right? And then you have our defenders. We have our team fully fit. It's not a situation where Jesus is injured, Xhaka's injured, and you have Saliba injured, and you have like three players in the spine injured. It's only one person. One person you can deal with. It's when you have multiple injuries throughout the team, that's when your whole team gets dysfunctional.
I see. That's why I think you're like mistaken for one specific reason. I just give you the only one aspect of Jesus, and I actually wanted Jesus. When we should not turn him down when we had chance of signing him. Don't spread the lies. They offered to Chelsea because Chelsea was going to pay more for him. They offered him to Chelsea first. I think we did the mistake by not signing him, but I didn't want him to play a striker. I wanted him to play on the right because we have bum like Mount playing on the right side instead of a real proper winger or the guy that actually can create. For me, Jesus, what he can do, and Nketiah not even sniffing around. One of the part is pressing the way you're playing. That's not the only part that Jesus is better than Nketiah. Jesus can drop in the middle and hold on to the ball. And
Eddie
Nketiah can't.
Nketiah has good hold up play.
Okay,
Questionable.
okay.
Questionable.
Okay.
Eddie Nketiah.
No. We go.
Eddie
You
Nketiah-
answered me everything. I said one thing. You said opposite. Let's move on from that. If you think Nketiah can do what you think it is, first of all, he
It
does
depends-
better when he
it
plays
depends
in
who he's going
Martinelli's
up
spot.
against.
He actually does better when he plays
No,
after
he
left,
doesn't. He
slightly
doesn't.
forward.
He doesn't.
He's not this. I'm not saying instead of Martinelli. I'm saying he likes to drift to the left more than stay in the middle. He's not organized the center forward. He does not. He does not bring confusion to the opposite teams. That's what you don't get it. What Jesus is good at. Jesus brings confusion to the other defense, and Nketiah doesn't.
Of
No,
course,
they are
It's my
different. They
honest
are- no, no, no.
opinion.
I get what you're
bro.
saying, Alex. Like, of course, our game will be different, but in terms of the,
I'm not saying you can't
fundamentals of-
win. I say you can adjust
No,
to
no,
it,
I hear
but
that.
it's going to be
I know what
different.
your point is. No, I know what your point is. They are going to play different, of course, 100%. Like what Jesus offers isn't what Nketiah is. They are different, and I agree with that. But one thing I will say is the fundamentals of what both do is not that far off in terms of Nketiah does press. And even if you look at back to your own game, he pressed to make a mistake that he scored a goal off of, right? So he can do that. That's not an issue in his game.
Yeah, we are
When-
goals down.
Yeah.
We are trying to fix the game. We are
Doesn't
trying
matter
to.
when he does it, but the point is he does press and presses defenders into mistakes, which he's done on multiple occasions.
I
Not only
agree,
just
Gunnar
that,
King.
that's just
He's a
one
better
of the
finisher.
No, that's just one of the examples I'm giving. But the reality is the way the game changes is because Nketiah, like, Gunnar King, he's more of a poacher. In the 9-yard box, he's a very good player to get himself into the best positions. And he does have a good finish on him. That's why he's a U23
Yeah, he is
all-time
better
top goal
than
scorer, etc.,
Jesus.
etc. But that's like, but when you look at the underline, like Odegaard can do a press trigger, that's fine. We don't really need Jesus to do that. Of course, like Jesus is a better player. Of course, the quality of our team is going to drop slightly, but I don't think it's going to be to the point where it's what you're saying is that everything's going to look so different. It's going to look different, of course,
Well,
but not that different.
Can I just say one more thing?
when I hold on,
I was just going to compare.
I
it
said
to
the possible draw. I didn't say it's gonna be draw. I said a possible draw could be because the way defensively, what's his name, West Ham set up, it's actually better to play against Nketiah. Nketiah does not, he's not physical player.
And
He's
Nketiah might not
he's
be.
what's that animal that
Nketiah will
that
surprise
eats
you.
leftovers after when animal was already, what's that animal?
No, I'm just saying, Nketiah might surprise you with his level of physicality because he's improved massively
Yeah.
from 2 years ago. Last
Okay,
season,
do I
last
compare
season,
him to 2 years
last
ago?
season, last season, he showed physically he's different levels to what he was. He's bouncing people off of himself, like he's shoulder barging, getting people out of the way. Like this is a guy who's completely head and shoulders over what he was a couple years ago. And physically, I feel like he hasn't actually shown us what he's capable of. Right now, a lot of the stuff around Eddie Nketiah is because yes, he's not as good as Jesus. I get that, but in the short term, he is an adequate replay. He's an adequate cover in the short term.
I
In
think
the long term, if this was a season long injury, definitely a lot worse.
I think you, first of all, I think you will be way surprised how he ain't coming back in the February. I can promise you that.
No,
Because
but he had the
let's move
same
on.
injury.
No, no,
He had
J-
the
Okay,
same
okay,
injury.
okay.
no, no. Realistically, he can return, and I'll explain why. So he's got an MCL injury, which he had obviously in City. They've done a surgery. The recovery time estimated is 6 weeks normally. The reason is 6 weeks is because the rehabilitation is focused blood flow and oxygen to the knee. That's why it's a lot quicker than an ACL. So it's not unrealistic, and it's not. I don't think it will be 1st of Feb. By the way, I agree with you. I think a little bit longer to get him back up and running to speed that he needs to be at.
But it's a
But
ligament
it
injury,
can be
right?
done. It can be done.
It's one of the ACL's ligaments.
It's an MCL. It's not an ACL.
Yeah, it's one of the ligaments that hold on
So
to
let
the
me
knee.
show you this. This happened. The reason why everyone's so optimistic that it's going to be quick is because similar thing happened to Xhaka. I know it's difficult to compare two different people, but Xhaka only missed 69 days and 9 games last season. He
No,
was
no,
gone
it
from
takes
Did he
September.
had the
Xhaka-
surgery?
Yes, if I'm not
It
mistaken,
takes 6
Xhaka had
weeks. Yeah,
surgery. Also.
it's a 6 week recovery from MCL.
Okay.
There's a difference. There's still a difference to it.
Yeah. And then
I
so
promise you,
it-
he ain't coming back in February. But let's move on. Back to the
So do you
back to
not
the thing.
think at
My-
all? So you think we're going to miss him the entire Feb? Because I think it'll be.
I think
he'll
you'll
be
miss
back
him
second
entire
week.
February.
No,
you'll
I
see.
don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. I look. What I do for a living, I work in emergency room at the hospital, so I don't know. But I can tell you, he ain't coming in February.
Fair
But
enough.
okay,
I worked there for longest time, so
I can tell you, he had a similar knee ligament injury in the past. Do you know how many games he missed? Exact
Mhm.
same injury, similar injury. He had different knee though. I think he had a similar injury with a different knee,
and he had the reconstructive surgery of that.
torn knee ligament. He missed. He had a
Doesn't
knee
say-
surgery. He had a knee surgery for that same injury, for a similar injury on the different knee, and he missed 54 days.
So 60 days is how many? Approximately 60 days.
Approximately 12 games
months.
across all competitions.
That's
12
months.
no 12 game. If you go game by game, 2 games a week doesn't. Yeah, 54 days, it's how you charge it. Or let's say 50 days, 25, that's 2 months.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have
but
to remember he got his
I don't think he had the surgery here.
No, he did. He successfully had the surgery. I
Okay.
can tell you what date he had the surgery. He had the surgery during the World Cup when after he got injured. Let me tell you what day it was because
Look.
I remember posting a picture on it on my channel when he completed the surgery. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Jesus successfully completed his surgery December 6th. December 6th, he officially completed his surgery
Okay.
and had
Yeah,
a
so
successful surgery.
February.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Like
We
I said,
both don't know how.
No.
Even
That's why I said mid-February is not out of the question because 6 weeks would put it mid-Feb, which is what.
Okay.
But I don't like you said when you say he's going to be excluded. I think he'll come back, but he'll be an option on the bench,
Look,
not
2 weeks
necessarily
ago,
starting for us.
2 weeks ago, Gabriel Jesus has successfully undergone surgery on his right knee after suffering an injury in the Brazil-Cameroon game in the group stages match on Friday, and that's when he had his surgery, and it's been 2 weeks ago, and he's already 2 weeks into his 6 week what is it called, undergoing of his rehab. He's
let's
already
let's
he's
see when
already
it gets
walking
to.
around. He's
Mhm.
already walking
Oh,
around on the
I know.
crutches.
I had my surgery for the shoulder. I had complete reconstructive surgery of my shoulder on what's the day? 23rd of November. 1 month, and I don't have it. I shouldn't be taking off the sling. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm supposed to be have it and sleep in my sling for 2 months. I don't do it, but I'm supposed to. You see what I'm saying? So the projections, it's the big, big, big. You know what they doing? What they saying? Like they. I'm not gonna say how
But
doctors work.
but
Like,
Alex, one factor that you forget, these guys have got money behind them. They are gonna have the best healthcare specialists 24/7, making sure they're getting the best recovery. But the recovery that us normal humans can do is nowhere near the recovery they'll get.
1 second, 1 second. Let me just read this comment from Smoke Settings. Ega, you're forgetting how wasteful Eddie is. We're factoring in the fact that he's wasteful, but we're just saying he's still going to be able to bring elements of Jesus's game, even though it's not up to the level and quality of a Gabriel Jesus.
I think you're gonna be playing completely different. What's with I think you're gonna play a little bit more directly with Nketiah.
I agree.
You think you're gonna play a little bit more directly. That's the thing.
No,
But when hold on a second.
the fundamentals are going to be there though.
What's the fundamental? Please tell me what's the
The fact
fundamental.
the fact that we're going to be pressing from the front, the fact the way that the areas of the pitch that he's going to be occupying is going to be the same, interchanging. You're
Okay,
going to
okay,
see,
okay,
you're going
okay.
to see
So
him
you saying
rotating.
him, Odegaard, and Nketiah is gonna do the same thing as Jesus. What I tried to say, he's not. He's gonna do appear on the right side, from where Saka sometimes occupies.
There's going
He's
to be
gonna be
times
on the
where
left side.
Which he's
Okay,
done. Yeah.
he's gonna go to the left, and he's gonna take sometimes Odegaard deep in the midfield.
That's what he's not gonna do. That's
he's
why I
not going to
agree.
go too deep.
So, and I'm
Yeah.
this is my freaking point.
But he's
That's
going to
already
pick up-
No, but that's one aspect that we don't need him to do. That's the thing.
okay.
Okay.
What
Let
I'm
me just-
saying
let
is,
me
and
just
it's
read
already
this.
like what.
Let me just
By
read
the way,
this
Alex, I
quickly.
agree. Like that's why I said we are gonna play different. I've said this.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be
All I
different,
gotta say is
but a lot
big
of
up
the
Smoke
fundamentals
Settings.
are the same.
Big up Smoke Settings. Big up all the 120 of you guys in the chat. Do me a favor, hit that like button right
Yeah,
now.
hit
It's
the like button,
absolutely
people.
free. I don't know why you haven't already done that. And if you want to become a member to the channel, you can be. It's only £1. Smoke Settings saying, I know some that had MCLs and it's only 4 months injury. So 4 months a lot longer than
No. But
Yeah.
this is okay. So this is the factors that
You-
people are forgetting. Like, yes, it can take longer. I
It
don't
can't take
disagree.
longer. What
It
I'm saying
can.
is,
But the thing is that it depends, don't it? Because not every injury is exactly the same. There can be differences and nuance between the estimated rough estimate time prediction, just general. Forget about Jesus' specific. Yeah, is 6 weeks. That's what medical experts say on MCL
that's what
injuries.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
exactly.
the
The
rough.
minimum thing they saying it's 6 weeks. Hamstring depends on the grade of the tear. It's 4 to 6 weeks, but it usually takes longer. Depends on the tear. I'm saying the surgery, what actually makes that MCL, is really, really worrying.
1 second, 1 second. Of course, I want to win the league. What do you mean? Do I want to win the league? I'm not defending endless points. I'm just saying there might be some solutions that you haven't thought about that we can find for the short time period. And the games that we're playing, they're games even on paper without Jesus. We should only really struggle in 2 of those games. I don't think Brighton. I don't think West Ham. I don't think Newcastle, especially the fact
Don't
that,
underestimate Newcastle.
especially the fact that
I
Newcastle's at
don't
home.
think Newcastle is that threatened. I don't think Newcastle is that threatened yet. I think it depends on the team. It depends who they play against. If Newcastle, it depends who they play it against. If that's why Liverpool can beat Chelsea with two ways playing completely neutralized each other. So that's how we actually Newcastle. It's not unbeatable team, and I don't think you have a. I think you have more problem with teams like. Well, you should have problem because we're completely counter-attacking team. That's why the pressing team. If I get out of press, you get exposed. That's it.
You know what, Alex? You might be telling us the harsh truth that they might not be telling us the actual reality on what the timeline might be. But right now, I choose to go by what they've given us.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're telling us the truth. Okay. now everyone that's saying that the timeline might be longer, I somewhat beg to differ, because these guys wouldn't want to give us a false level of
Remember
hope.
when the early predictions were he's gonna be sometimes in the middle of March, beginning of April. That's the initial thing. That's the only thing I can see, that there wasn't complete separation of the ligament, but slight micro tears. Micro tears requires the surgery based on surgery. The reason what they didn't do it initially, it's the simple thing, because there's too much fluid around the wound. They have to get to the swelling down to actually see
Yeah,
how.
listen to this comment. You're not going to see him fully fit until May. If I'm not mistaken, Shaka came back from injury in January 1st, and the first game that he played was the North London Derby. He was outstanding.
Look, we can't go one person had this same
Yeah.
injury, because it's
Jacques
not
is
same.
different. Yeah, Jacques is different as well
It's
as a
not.
person.
I
It's
get
not.
it. Okay.
It's actually based on what kind of
harder
player.
work than striker. Every position is
No,
different.
no.
Goalkeeper.
No, it
No,
depends
no,
on
no,
the
no,
player.
no. But also, like when you look at
Jesus,
Jacques is-
Jesus more rely on his knees than Zaka. Zaka doesn't rely on his knees as much as Jesus, because Jesus is more player. He has to use his knees. Look, takeoff speed involves Achilles heel. Move it right to the left, it's a knees injury. Shots and power comes from the hips. It's basic autonomy. That's how injuries work. Mechanism of injury. If you would compare Zaka to versus Odegaard knee injury will be more worry for Odegaard than for Zaka, if that's how you want to compare.
You know
You see
what?
what I'm saying?
This comment here, he's making a good point. But you know what? I'm gonna have to end it here, people. I'm gonna have to end the video here. Unfortunately, this was a good video. I'm going for a 2-0 win versus West Ham. Gunnar Sol's going for a 3-0 win versus West Ham. Alex, you're going for a 1-1 draw. Always putting pressure on Arsenal, right? But yeah, you
Can
guys
we
have
get a quick Chelsea score prediction? Who they got?
Oh, they got.
Oh fuck!
They got,
We got Brentford.
you,
I
you're gonna
think,
lose.
yeah, we're gonna win 1-0.
You're gonna lose.
Dude,
gonna lose.
I'm so disappointed with my own club. So we'll let
It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, we'll talk about another day. Alex, have a good one. Gunnar Souls,
see,
have a
man.
good one. Hopefully, everyone has a good holiday. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the match reaction after the game.
Merry Christmas, Salah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That guy, just because he said the
I
name,
don't understand why people upset. I don't.
because it's against the religion, and what
So?
he's doing. 1 second, it's against the religion, and what he's doing, he always performs bad after he does it. So people are saying
No. Why people gets upset what he does?
because he's a figure.
He's a Muslim. I know that.
1 second.
My question.
He's a Muslim figure who's basically doing something openly against the religion. At this point, it seems like he's almost mocking us. What he's doing? At this point, it almost seems like he's using Christmas as a weapon to antagonize people. It's crazy.
I just think it's kind of like how you say it it's forceful for like you saying that this like I don't know Muslim religion is the sin from the sin is the different or all sins the same?
No, there's levels.
No,
to it,
there's a
obviously.
ranking. It's the
There's
same as
levels to
like,
it.
like if you murder someone and you have a petty theft, they're different. You know what I mean? Like the crime.
Okay,
is
let me give you an example. What he's doing is basically similar to idol worship.
But he doesn't.
I know, but
No,
he's
no,
celebrating another
but
person.
there's
Celebrating
multiple.
another person.
Okay,
There's multiple
never mind.
reasons for Christmas in it.
Never
There's
mind.
multiple
I'm
reasons for-
not. I don't know that much about
Basically-
Quran, but I know that
you're
I know
not
that
supposed to.
Jesus is actually in Quran. I know Jesus is actually in Quran in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the.
Yeah,
he's
So
not
he was
mentioned in the
born,
prophet,
right?
Yeah, he's a prophet.
So okay, so can Salah say a happy Prophet Day? Like, is
No,
it?
but it's not. That's the
but
thing.
it's-
It's
but
not a prophet
listen,
day.
It's not okay.
It actually has nothing
let
to
me-
do
let me
with
just make it
Christianity
clear.
in the
Let me make it
originality
clear.
of Christmas.
Celebrating another religion's festivals is basically legitimizing their beliefs and
Okay.
everything that goes with it. Hence, you are then almost disowning your own religion. So
Okay.
it's that deep. what he's doing. Now, I'm not saying you can do whatever the hell you want, but the way that he's posting a picture every year, it's almost like he's encouraging this reaction. That's what I feel like. He doesn't necessarily need to post it, but he's posting it because he knows the reaction.
I just think it's the same thing
Let,
as
let
like
me let me
all
just end my
people.
part on this, right? All I'm saying is, look, there's people who have gone to the extremes and like have like mocked
No,
him in
that's
a way.
crazy.
Yeah.
Just
But
think
what I'm
I
saying
find
is,
it
what I'm
funny
saying, like
that he
myself, yeah,
keeps
I'm
doing
just a
it.
concerned Muslim brother. I'm just saying to him, look, what you're doing is borderline. Is gonna obviously he can do what he wants. He's got to answer to God himself on Judgment Day, all of that sort of stuff. But I'm just coming from a more concerned Muslim standpoint that, bro, you shouldn't be doing this more than a again, everyone's got to do what they got to do in it.
Listen,
Anyway,
also one more thing. If you are committing any type of sin, you are not supposed to publicize it. So what he's doing is he's committing a sin, then publicizing it to the world. It's almost like me as a Muslim drinking alcohol, eating pork, and then posting it on Instagram. I'm not going to do that.
That's my.
But yeah,
that was
let's
I was
not.
trying to
This is a
say.
football channel.
Yeah,
I already
yeah,
did
yeah.
a video. I already did a video on it. You guys can go check that out. Personally, I feel like he's gonna have a curse on him, and he's gonna get punished for.
One
doing this.
thing I came here for one thing, and I forgot to ask you.
What?
Why are you using Christmas as a mid-season? This is the mid-season. Mid-season is going to be at the end of February.
No, because of the World Cup. That's why it's.
I know that, but you're using Christmas like it's already mid-season.
No, because it's World Cup and it basically feels like a new season.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That was
not,
my question.
I'm not saying it's the mid-season.
No. Like you're saying, I can't believe we're at Christmas and we're top of the table.
No,
yeah, but we also played 14 games.
I get that, and we mentioned that. Gunnar Souls mentioned that, and it's just the fact that
it's gonna be at the end of February when is the middle table.
No, I get that, but you do realize we should have played 20 games by now. We haven't. But by the time Jesus is back, we would have officially been actually at the halfway point of the season.
All right. Anyway,
let's end the show. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Hopefully you enjoy your day. Watch your basketball, whatever you guys want to do on Christmas. Have a good one. And we're out of here. Peace.